Hello and welcome back. I'm Joseph Hoffman. Today, I'll show you how to add in the right hand to Melody for Left Hand by Scute. Let's take a look at the score to get started. I love analyzing music before I play it because then I find I learn it and play it faster, and I'm more likely to get the notes right. So, can you analyze for me this first chord that you see, the right hand play? Take a look at the notes and see if you can figure out what chord that is and tell me its name. If you said a G major chord or a 1 chord, you're correct. Since we're in the key of G major for this song, it's very common and not unexpected at all that we start with a G major chord, our 1 chord. Now, how long does that 1 chord continue? It continues for the first 2 measures, and then in measure 3 we get a new chord. Now, can you analyze that chord for me and tell me what you see? Now, you'll notice that those top 2 notes shifted up a step. So now we have this chord, which is called a 4 chord. Remember, the 4 chord really is named that because it's built on the note that's 4 steps above the 1 chord. We have G as 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's our 4 chord, but to make it more easy to play, we take this G on top and put it on the bottom. So it's a more comfortable way to play the 4 chord. And how you'll do that with your right hand is you'll shift all of your fingers except for your finger 1 up a note. So your fingers 3 and 5 can reach C and E. So 3 and 5 are on B and D, then they shift up a step, but your thumb stays put. So let's practice that. Can you try a 1 chord with me on your piano in the G position, and then shift to the 4 chord. Keep your thumb on G and the other finger shift up. Good. Now let's try to play this first line. You have 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and shift, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Can you try that with me? Ready, go. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 shift, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Great. Now pause if you need to go back and practice that a little bit more. Otherwise, let's keep going. What do you see on this next line? What chord? If you said a 1 chord or a G major chord, you're correct. It goes back to our 1 chord. Then here, we have a chord we haven't seen for a long time, so I'm going to help you with it. This is called a G sus4 chord. That sus stands for suspension. And it's a really cool chord called a suspension because sometimes this note it's called suspended because it wants to get back down to that note. Well, it sounds like it's suspended in the air, but that's called a G sus4 chord. So why don't you try that? You'll use fingers 1, 4, and 5 on G, C, and D. Okay, try that out. 1 and 2 and. Now look at the next measure and tell me what happens on this chord. There's one note that changes from the measure before, and that's this bottom note goes down a step. So is this correct? No, because of our key signature, we don't have an F, right? What do all Fs become? They become F sharp, automatically because of our key signature. So, does this chord look familiar to you? You might recognize this as the 5-7 chord of G major. Remember, if this is our 1 chord, to get the 5-7 chord, we move Do down to T, Mi up to Fa, and boom, 5-7 chord. When we play that with our right hand, because our finger 1's a little bit short, you're going to want to slide forward up in the keys and play it like this. Okay, so let me show you the whole line. We'll have 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, then G sus4, then 5-7. Now press pause and try that line on your own, then press play when you're ready to try it with me. Okay, let's try to play these chords. Ready, go. 1 chord, 2 and 1 and. Now G sus4, 1 and 2, and then 5-7, 2 and. Good. Now let's check out line 3. What do you notice about these chords? 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and... Yeah, they're the same as line 1. Now, tell me what we get on line 4. What's this first chord? If you said 1 chord, you're correct. We have a 1 chord. Then what's this next chord? It's a 5-7 chord. So we have 4, 5, 7 chord, then back to 1 chord, and then we stop. Good. Now, remember, from our website, you can download and print this music. I'd like you to press pause, practice all the chords all the way through, and then we'll try playing it together when you're ready. Okay, now we're going to try playing it together. I'm going to do both hands, but if you're still working on the right hand, or if this is your first day to try this, then just play the right hand chords. Later on, you can come back to this lesson and try playing it hands together. I'll play both hands, you just worry about the right hand, and we're going to go pretty slow. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Are you ready? I'll count 1 and 2 and to get us ready, and then we'll start. Here we go. In position, 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2 and 1 and. Now the 4 chord. And 1 and back to the 1 chord. 1 and 2 and 5, 7. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Nice work. Now, if that felt too fast and you weren't making all the changes, that's fine. Just pause and work on it many, many times on your own, then come back and try it again with me. Now, once you feel like you have the left hand mastered and the right hand mastered alone, then you're going to use the metronome to gradually increase speed until you're playing it full speed. But it's going to be a disaster, really bumpy. You're going to get tense if you try to do that right away. So start slow. Put your metronome on a really comfortable speed. Maybe about 132. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and. Maybe that's even too fast. If you're struggling with that, try 112 and 2 and 2. That's probably a better starting point, actually. Okay, so you're going to find the speed that's comfortable for you, which may be different for anyone. And then a few beats per minute at a time, once you have it mastered at that slower speed, then you're allowed to go a little faster. Try and master at that speed, then go a little faster. And a little bit at a time, you're going to get it up to full speed. Now, last of all, let's talk about how to make this song sound really awesome. We noticed when we first started this song that the right hand is marked piano, but the left hand is marked mezzo forte. And that's so the left hand melody can be strong and heard. And what you want to do is try and play these chords quite soft while you play the melody quite strong. Now, this is a really advanced skill that will set you apart as an awesome pianist. Okay, and one way you can practice this, which is going to be kind of mind-bending, might feel like pulling out your hair at first, is I want you to play your left hand as loud as you possibly can, even if it's a little bit ugly sounding. And your right hand, I don't even want you to play. I just want you to touch the keys like you're playing, but don't actually make the notes go down. So again, left hand as loud as you possibly can, and right hand so soft and gentle the notes aren't even playing at all. Like this. See how I'm touching the right keys for my right hand, but I'm not actually playing. Okay, makes sense? Now try, after you try that, then the next step is to let the right hand just barely play, but it's going to be pianissimo. And the left hand still as loud as you possibly can. So you can barely hear my right hand. That's super hard as well. And then you're just going to go one step where your right hand is just going to be a regular piano, maybe even a pianissimo, and the right hand is going to be just strong and normal. And so this is the final product. Whoops, I missed that chord actually. Sus, and then the 5/7. Okay, do you hear that? Really listen for that melody. Gentle chords. I don't want to hear this, because that's kind of annoying. All those annoying loud chords. That's not the interesting part. The interesting part is the melody. So we want. Doesn't that sound cooler? Got it? Okay, that's called balancing the two hands, or sometimes it's called voicing. You want to voice the melody and let the accompaniment be quiet. I know you might be sick of me mentioning it, but while we're at it, sometimes I see kids play these chords and they just get really stiff. Make sure that as you're repeating these chords, you've got great piano posture, that your wrist is loose and a little bit bouncy, and that you're staying on your pinky tip, not playing with a collapsed pinky like this. You want to look like this as you play those chords. So nice, loose wrist. Make sure you're not locked in as you play, that it's got a little bit of bounce. All right, last thing to notice are these cool dynamics that come along the way. You have this decrescendo right there on the sus chord. In measure 7, we're getting quieter as you go to the 5/7 chord. And then down in measures 13 and 14, we have this crescendo. So you're going to start a little bit softer, so then you can get loudest on that D. Bum, 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 bum. And then decrescendo to the end. Now, if you'll add in all of those things, you're going to have a really artistic, polished, professional sounding performance. Once you have it super polished and up to full speed, try making a video and sharing it with me. I'd love to see how you're doing. Nice work today, learning to add in the chords for melody for left hand. Remember to keep those chords soft, piano, even pianissimo, so we can really enjoy that left hand melody. It's your left hand's turn to shine, so give it the spotlight. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.
Baby, you get to play the melody today. We need it nice and loud. Do you think you can handle that? Uh-huh. Good. And mice, I need you 3 to handle the chords. We got it. Yeah, we're all about the chords. Bring it. All right, let's try it from the beginning. Ready, play. No. Mice, you need to play the chords softly so we can hear the melody. You've heard of quiet as a mouse, haven't you?
Yeah, who came up with that phrase anyway?
Yeah, we like it loud. What if we try it rock and roll style? Yeah! I don't think Mr. Hoffman would like that. 1, 2, 3, hit it!